All right, finally, we've been talking about it. I've been flaunting one of them for a while now. Modular front bull bar, pre-runner, combo, whatever you guys want set up for this thing. This is for the INEOS Grenadier and or the Quartermaster, of course, as you see here. A beautiful setup with this bumper is it's a combination of two things. It's a monocog center section with a tubular outer section. This tubular outer section has allowed us to gain an incredible amount of strength out of it without having a bunch of folded over metal all over the place, because we've been able to triangulate from here to here. And then we also triangulate from the rearmost corner to the actual frame where the steering gearbox is. The monocog section is this guy right here. So there's your frame mounting, and then here's your winch mounting through there. This will accept a 12,000 pound Warren winch on that guy, no problem. We mount it feet first, just like the factory INEOS setup does. The other thing that's kind of different is we added a couple pull points right down through here. That's just for if you're buried in the mud and you can't get to the factory ones. That just allows you a little bit more, another feature to go with. The nice thing with this bumper setup is this first one, we went ahead and did wire feed, MIG welding for the whole thing. We did a standard mild steel. The new bumper, same design, but we've thinned things out significantly because we are now incorporating a heat treated steel, far, far, far stronger than our existing mild steel that we've been using. And then we've also incorporated laser welding instead of the wire feed welding. Reason for that is the laser welding, let's go back. The MIG welding wire feed, when I weld down both sides of this, I've got a heat affected zone, basically the whole width of this here. Therefore, I've lost any of the strength that I would have gained from my heat treated steel. With the laser welding, I've literally got just a 1/8 of an inch wide portion. That is the heat affected zone. In fact, here is the new unit right there. You can't see it, but before this was powder coated, you just see an 1/8 inch wide line here and here where we did the full weld on this bad boy. In fact, you can't even tell it's welded. It looks like it's painted together. It's perfect penetration, no extra material put on there, no extra warping, and we get to keep the strength of the original unit. So that's a nice plus as well. So the original mild steel unit, there's a lot going on here. We've got the bull bar, brush bar, a real push bar. This push bar is made to push things. You'll notice this brush bar has been pushed forward quite a little bit than anything else that's usually out there. I don't know why people make things so tight. It's an aesthetic thing, I'm sure. But what happens if I hit some wild game on the road? And if there is any sort of give, I've smashed right into my rig there. That makes no sense to me. At least this way, you've got a little bit of standoff for whatever you impact against, be it an animal, be it a tree, whatever it is. So now you can braille through the woods without actually catching your body. So that's one big difference. The other nice thing is this can be removed. This is directly going to the monocog section, which is bolted to the frame, the chassis. You can unbolt this, and we have a little pre-runner that goes on here if you guys don't want the full brush bar or push bar setup. It's a little cleaner, a little tighter. I was talking also about the weight that we've lost with the new design. This original setup, there's a lot going on. Brush bar, push bar, center section, outer section, coolers, a new super mega reinforced skid plate with crossbars underneath that radiator. We were at 158 pounds, which is just getting a little on the high side. New bumper, 114, and I think we're gonna be able to save a little bit more weight off that. Now remember, that includes a whole new skid plate with reinforcements to the cooling radiator towers down below that mount the skid plate to. We've added extra steel in those corners, and we've beefed it up, and we've brought up as high as it can. The factory INEOS one is terrible on these corners. They get bent every time. Another big gripe of mine with the INEOS setup is they have a large cooler duct right here. It gets packed with mud every single time. We did away with it here, but what we've done is there are 4 75 millimeter holes here, 3-inch holes for Freedom units. We also have airflow over the top. So what's happening is the air comes through, it is getting redirected up through here and here. It bounces around several times, which drops any sort of mud or particulate, and then goes through the cooler, through the radiator itself. So now you can actually go through mud, go through any sort of wet stuff, and not get that built up in the lower section of your radiator. So what we've also done, since we've possibly decreased cooling here, although our tests are showing no loss in cooling whatsoever because we're bringing it around through the top as well, we've increased the intake portion of these coolers here. So with this round tube setup through there, it actually directs more air through our transfer case cooler and our secondary radiator cooler there. So I just went on about how we kept this from getting plugged up with dirt. Well, we've just invited more dirt here. Totally noted and worthwhile to point this out. You can unbolt this cover, and we have an HDP cover in the back and or a smaller steel cover in the back that you could wash out with a garden hose or a blow nozzle and clean out your cooler. Way easier to get to. The factory INEOS one, you can't get to it without pulling a bunch of plastic apart. We did a T6 aluminum plate on the top here that you could drill holes, add extra lights, small lights, markers, whatever you want on top of this. We could do an antenna mount that could drill into this face here to be off to the side there if you'd like. We could also add tabs through here if you want to run limb risers up to the windshield there, or the tubes that go down into the actual rock sliders themselves. So what you're gonna see right off the bat is the clearance that we've gained on our angle of approach is massive on these corners, extreme. This angle is about the same. It's a little bit better, but everything's a lot tougher, but we've shaved off the corners so you can always come into things much tighter there. The other beautiful thing, I'll verify this on Smushroom over there. This bumper, just bolting it on, should allow me to clear a 35-inch tire. Would be without a lift, because the lifts are a necessary evil of these machines. And we all know the issues we have with the Zeppa joint. It's kind of a red flag sometimes. We've had pretty good luck, but it is still, physics can't deny that it is a problem with that Zeppa joint. So this way you have clearance for the large tires, you have massive strength. I will go head to head with any bumper out there that's not 200 plus pounds as far as strength goes. This is wicked light because of the triangulation going on in multiple directions. And then the monocog setup here, the way it's designed is for frontal impact here, strength on the winch itself. We break it into 2 levels, so it's very stout there. When you try to do a triangulated monocog setup, it's really hard to get the strength from not folding and bowing under. That's one other reason why we chose this tubular setup. Also, another nice thing is we give you an option for putting auxiliary lights through there. You can put a floodlight, an amber light. Like I said before, you could drill and put a small light through here, but you've got auxiliary lighting that could go there. And then along with that, we also have a light bar that goes in between there. So you can put a couple LP6s, 9s if you really need that much. But the light bar just bolts on in the center there and gives you all sorts of illumination options. So, and then the other thing that everybody complains about is, and I do too, the winch that's on the INEOS. If you order that option, it's a great winch as far as strength goes, and power is phenomenal, but it's hard to pull that rope out, and also it's only 80-foot of rope. So let's face it, that's not gonna work out. We can now run a popular Warren 12K winch hidden inside here, but I could still actually get to my rope, my wire rope through here. If I get tangled up, I could by hand get in there and pry things out, move it around. So it gives me a lot of room. My free spool's down there, and then we relocated the actual solenoid setup. So we still utilize the factory parking sensors. We gave you extra pull points. We have a 12,000-pound winch that could easily mount on there with longer rope. We have a much beefier skid plate with reinforced towers, way stronger in the corners reinforced, a bull bar or pre-runner bar, whatever you want. It's all in one package. The beautiful thing is modular, and it doesn't even not have to be truck shipped. It goes all in pieces. It's amazing. So anyway, I hope you guys like it. It's tough, it's strong, it's light. I think it's got the proper look. You know, everybody's got their own preference of things, but we're pretty happy with it.